What's up, YouTube? All right, this is Long here with Hmongoose Live. Crazy today, absolutely crazy today. We're here specifically on a spur of the moment because Aden Thao has just finished racing MotoAmerica Virginia, and he completely killed it. Originally during the race, he came in third, but we recently found out that he actually has been bumped up to second due to a disqualification. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I want to thank all of you for spending this afternoon with me on the very last minute spur of the moment. Aden Thao, if you don't know him, get to know him. He's an amazing athlete, very humble, extremely wise for his age, and extremely humble. Cho cho cứ tí cho nên cho phong như mong sợ đời cho ô tua cổng của món nó tại nhỏ nhỏ họ tới chừng mình cả nó về tới chừng nhà la tới chừng lo tới chừng thái tới chừng sủa. Welcome all of you. Thank you for watching this live session, or thank you also if you're watching the restream, guys. But I wanted to thank all of you guys for coming here tonight. And without further ado, we're going to talk to Aden. He's going to give us a rundown. This is so special. It's very, very special because, if we had Steph Curry in here coming to chat after one of his semifinal games, it's a great privilege. And it is the same way with Aden. He just won second place in a very hard-fought battle, and he's here to talk about it. So it's such a great privilege to have Aden here. He's going to give us a rundown of the track and some of the races. We're going to watch some of the footage together, and we're going to kind of go from there. Without further ado, Aden, how's everything?
Hey, Long, everything's going good. How about you?
I'm good, man. My life is so crazy right now. I was at an event, a very, very busy event, and I was playing music and watching your live session at the same time. It was awful because I kept on messing up because I kept on staring down. I was playing music and I kept on looking down to see how you were placing, and it was such a crazy, hard-fought battle. For those who don't know, Aden races in MotoAmerica. He just raced at the Virginia International Raceway, and he took second place. Hard-fought battle. How was it, Aden?
Yeah, so first of all, thank you, Long, for always being up to date with us, and making the time up to watch me race live while you have all these other things going on. So thank you so much. And first, it was a very crazy, hectic weekend. We have a different bike, and we have a different whole different setup with the motorcycle. We're at a track that me personally I'm not the biggest fan of. Let's say that. Every rider, like I mentioned, I think Friday when we got on the call, Virginia is not my most favorite track in the whole MotoAmerica season.
Not cup
No,
of tea.
it's not. But after the progression that we had this weekend and the final results, it might have became one of my favorite tracks. But yeah, we worked hard to get to where we are, and I know we'll talk about it a little bit more. We started off 10th, and then we fought our way up to the podium positions.
It was hard fought because people don't realize. I mean, you're not racing against mediocre people. Aden is racing against the best in this category in the country, and the qualifying was very, very competitive, and you ended up starting in 10th place. For those who don't realize, don't know racing, you do a qualifying race, and that qualifying race at this particular race you did 2, and they place you best on your place you according to your best lap time. So in this case, everyone was so fast that you were placed in 10th, but you managed to in both races to move yourself up into the third, the third and the fourth positions, but second place win. Hey, let's take a look at the track. This track that you more or less don't like very much, but you might like more. This is the track itself here. So walk us through this track. What makes this track so hard?
This track has its own difficulties. On the very top where it says start finish, that's where we line up for the race. That's where the checkered flag is. That's where the race starts, and that's where the race ends. If you scroll down a little bit, turn 6, turn 7,
Right here,
you know, that's I would say that's the hardest section of the track. Turn 6, turn 7, turn 8, turn 9, turn 10, turn 11.
because
If you
that's
look at
swerving the whole entire way, pretty much.
Yep, yep. If you watch our live footage of us racing, we're constantly turning through those turns, and what we call them is the S's. So that's consistent left hand, right hand, left hand, right hand. So especially on a hot weekend like this, where it's close to 100 degrees, 100% humidity, going 12, 13, 14 laps around this track, it could get very tiring. That's why it's not really my favorite track per se. But
So, so you raced this the first time you raced this track. It was what, 1 o'clock? No, 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock, yes,
And then today's race was at 1. How
yes,
different were the tracks? Because it was what, 90 something on the first day, and then a little bit cooler on the today. Was there a
yeah.
huge difference?
Oh yeah, there was a huge difference, and
Mm.
good and bad. Yesterday and Saturday's race one, it was later on in the day, around 4 o'clock. The track temperatures was really hot. Our tires were really hot, so there was a lot of grease that was on the track, a lot of oil on the track, so we didn't have that perfect traction, that perfect 100% traction that we wanted. So
Hmm.
that's the one thing that we all struggled with was traction while we were out there racing. And yes, today we did race a little earlier, so it wasn't as hot. In the day, I believe it was like the low 90s, high 80s today, so a little bit cooler. But we did have some rain last night that washed
Wow.
away all the rubber on the track.
Hmm.
And even though today was a lot cooler, the rain was the big problem with the traction in today's race. So
Hmm.
I'm not too worried about it because if I'm struggling for traction, everyone else is. So it's still fair game, and we still managed to deal with the traction loss that we didn't have out there.
Yeah. So talking about traction loss, let's do like a quick rundown. Um, I haven't had the chance to rewatch the second race, but from what I saw on the results, there are a lot of people that fell.
Yep.
A lot of people fell, but then particularly during the first race, they fell. Kayla Yakov ran into Cody Wyman right in front of you. So they were at the fourth and fifth position, and you were at the sixth. Do you remember what turn that was at?
That was going into turn 7, so the bottom right of
So right
the
here.
picture right there. Yes.
So
Um,
so Kayla is really interesting because she likes to drive really hard, take weird line, and then brake really hard and turn. Right? Is that how you describe Kayla?
Kayla, she's a very smart, she's a very fast rider, and every rider we all have our different opinions of
Techniques.
how, yes, techniques and how we should play our races. And that's something that I always mention in our calls, is that every rider has different racecraft, every rider has different opinions, every rider has different techniques. And Kayla, man, she's a beast on her brakes. You saw at Atlanta where she would overtake two, three, four riders going into
Yeah.
one turn. So that's one of Kayla's strong suits. That's one of her strong points. And yeah, when the incident happened in yesterday's race, Saturday's race one, um,
Well,
it
why don't we do
was
this? Why don't we watch it? How about
yeah.
that?
Let's
That way
watch
people
it, and then I
understand.
could go over and explain it real quick.
Yeah, let me pull that up. Um, let's see here.
Looks like Wyman got a good launch as well, but no, not enough room.
So huge battle right here.
Max Van holding on to the lead.
Looks like it
I
is.
think
Yeah,
it's
with
probably a
Rainier
couple minutes.
slotting into the second there, and Lemandry Jr.
So for those who are getting
Max
confused,
Van is
because
looking
there's
very
two
strong.
black, two.
I mean, he fought off
You
the
look kind of like
advancements
Cody
of
Wyman
7
from the
riders
back. Your
behind
bikes
him
look
to
very
hold on
similar.
to this
If
lead
you're ever
through
wondering,
turns 1, 2,
Aiden's,
3
I
we
figured this
go.
out.
Cody
Aiden's
Wyman had
gear in the
a
back
look up
is
the inside.
all
Look at
white,
these.
no green on the
They're
back.
all kind of
Correct?
wanting to jam down the inside of each other, but really there's not anywhere for anybody to go. Yakov was on the outside as they came down that front straightaway, and she sat up nice and early because there was nowhere for her to really go. So it shows really nice racecraft on her part But you know.
So here you can see you're right behind
everybody wants to take a
Kayla.
shot. I think when you're a racer, Greg, everybody thinks, you know, oh, who's that?
That looked like a two-rider incident to me. Or is that just Yakov on her own?
I don't see Cody Wyman either. I don't see Cody.
Yeah.
So that was the footage. How quickly did that happen in front of you? Must have been like a split second.
Oh yeah, especially when it comes to racing, you know, stuff like that can happen in a heartbeat. And you know, luckily I wasn't, you know, collected in that incident. But you know, I've talked to both of the riders, Cody Wyman and Kayla Yakov, and you know, there's no hatred between them. You know, there's a lot of love between, you know, a lot of us riders. When incidents happen like that, you know, we're all professional. We're all professional riders. We know how to interact with each other, even when, you know, we're feeling upset. And I talked to Kayla, and she said that she lost her brakes. So when she went to grab her brakes, or you know, in car standards, you know, when she went and hit the brake pedal, there was no brakes.
Oh,
And you know, luckily on motorcycles we do have two brakes. We have a front brake and we have a rear brake. When I was talking to her, she lost her front brake, and that's 90% of our stopping power comes from our front brake. And then luckily she thought quickly, and you know, she had to end up using her rear brake to make the corner, but unfortunately she was just carrying too much speed, and you know, unfortunately wiped out Cody Wyman as well. And I was right behind him. You know, I was there. I saw everything, and you know, it kind of caught me off guard a little bit because, you know, it was still kind of early in the race. But you know, thankfully both of them were okay, and they were able to race in the second race today.
yeah. Thank God for the cushions over there, because I think if not for those, Kayla would be hitting tires or hitting trees. It looks like.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy. A split second. And they did a later interview of Cody, and when he started to race for the Twin Cup, and he had no idea what happened. He was just, as far as he was concerned, he was just kind of clipped from the side, and he had no idea. But I guess that's the nature of the sport, because it looks like it's great to be in first place, but you have no idea where they are behind you, so you're racing your hardest, and you're always on the verge of falling. That's why a lot of the falls seem to happen like in the front of the race, actually, which is kind of really interesting about the sport. And so you ended up coming in fourth this race, correct? Just right outside of the podium.
Yeah. So you know, after this incident happened, you know, there was a red flag, and if some people don't know what red flag is, if there's an incident where a rider went down, or you know, there's fluids on the track, or you know, a rider goes down and needs, you know, immediate care assistance from, you know, the ambulance or the paramedics, then that's when they throw the red flag. The red flag means the race has been stopped, and you know, we all of us have to go back to our pit until the race, you know, the race directors, the race officials cause the race to have a restart. So
when the race restarted, Aiden, what position did they restart you in?
They started me in fourth because that's where I was last before the red flag came out.
So that's the front of the second line.
Yes, that's the second row.
Okay, well, let's look at the second race. So this is kind of what I mentioned for those who didn't watch. I thought the second race was a huge battle, because people, you know, the lineup on the left goes back and forth like crazy. And at one point you come into first too. You're right there on the.
But I just keep looking at Max Van in the racecraft right now, and it's just the ability to, especially on that straightaway, so late down that straightaway, to be able to stay off that brake lever. It's almost like there's a great RPM surge right towards the end of that straightaway. Max Van, just
look at Kayla. She's got a lot of speed through there. But he has the ability to keep making his way back to the front, doesn't he?
To your point about
Max Van, he's like, he just gets himself back up there. Cody's on the back of him again, which is perfect to see. He should get a nice slingshot down the straightaway. We're going to have 2 laps to go when they come by now. So right now is the time when you're really starting to test things. And, you know, Greg, we hear bikes on rev limiters all the time. This is where gearing becomes such a crucial
here you're in
things.
4th.
You know,
and here's a huge fight right here.
Maybe a tooth taller than you'd even think, because if you're in that slingshot 4, 5, 6 deep behind these guys, you got to be able to slingshot past.
So Yakov goes to the lead for a moment. Now up the inside comes Aden Thao. Can't get it done. So there goes Gus Rodeo. What is interesting is
Aden Thao gets stood up out of the seat.
Last time by, Kayla Yakov had enough in the tank to draft by Max Van by the line and beat Max Van to the line by 0.04 of a second.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's going on, but I think the service or the Wi-Fi here in the hotel is a little slow, so everything's kind of been.
Is it really choppy on your end?
Yes. So everything is kind of everything is a little bit delayed, but you know I can still hear you perfectly fine.
Okay, we'll pass on this, but you know they mentioned in their the slingshot. What is the slingshot?
So the slingshot, you know, it's a lot of people like to call it the draft. A lot of people like to call it the split screen. If you guys are familiar with racing, that's when one rider gets behind the other rider, and the rider that is in front is blocking all of the air for the second rider. So, you know, when, you know, it's kind of like a car, for an example, right? When you roll down the windows while you're driving a car, you feel all the wind hitting you. You know, you stick your hand out the window, you feel all the wind hitting your hand, right? The slingshot, for an example, is when another rider is directly behind the other rider, and that first rider is blocking all of the air for the second rider. So we get a slight slingshot. They like to say a slight boost. You know, and that's usually how we could draft each other down the front straight. You know, if you saw the footage where you know, where I was leading first and for, you know, a few corners, and then the other 2 riders came up right past me, you know, that's exactly what they're doing. That's a very good example of the draft.
Let's so we won't look at any of the I wanted to watch the rest of that footage, but if it's too choppy, then we'll skip that. But that being said, officially, you finished 2nd place. And for the technicalities of what I'm about to talk to next, it might be your dad might be more akin to speak to it. But I wanted to take an opportunity to show the MotoAmerica website to people out there, because when I first got on the website, I thought it was very overwhelming. So I'm going to take a moment to look at it, and then if your dad wants to come and talk a little bit about the technicalities of what happened today, because you actually finished 3rd. But on a technicality, there was a DQ, a disqualification of the 1st place rider, making you now 2nd place. And I think now it puts you, it's interesting because we haven't seen the updated cup results. You may be 3rd or maybe even in 2nd place now, which is really, really interesting. I'm gonna take a second here to show, if you want to get your dad to say hi. But basically, for those who aren't familiar, this is the MotoAmerica website. I'm going to give people a little bit of a browse so that people know how to navigate it. Let's see here. So if you're on this website, if you wanted to see the live streaming and you wanted to see it, it's here. You can subscribe to it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go to the results right here. Let me try to get this a little bigger. The results button right here. You want to click that. It is where it gets confusing if you don't know what you're doing. It took me a long time. So you want to hit race results. And then here, this is where it gets really, really, really overwhelming, because if you don't know what's what, then it's hard to find. But Aden writes for the Junior Cup. So you want to click on the Junior Cup. And then under the Junior Cup, we're looking at Virginia right here. And so what you want to do is you can look at Aden's practice times. For example, if you were here, you want to see practice results. You could click on that. Does it show it? No, it doesn't show it. It pops up another screen. But if you wanted to, you could. But in this case, you know, they're popping up multiple screens. So sorry, every time it pops up, it gets this screen here gets a little lost. So I'm going to share a different screen here. Let's go. So for example, I just popped up the let's see what this is. The practice time. So you can see all the practice results here, and you can see clearly that that Aden's time is right here. Your practice time there, and so what we're gonna actually do is we're actually gonna look at your final results. But I'm gonna pull this up really quick. And so when you're at this other screen, let me share this screen.
Yeah, that's the website's a really good it's a really good place to find results if anyone's watching. If you guys want to find results of how I did during practice or my qualifying, or you guys just want to know how I placed in in each races, the MotoAmerica website is always up to date, and you guys could always find my final results on the MotoAmerica website. I know some people don't have access to pay for the MotoAmerica membership live, like how you do it, Long. So on the MotoAmerica website, that's a very good place to see all of our results. And MotoAmerica on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook, they do show little highlights here and there of how the races went, and sometimes they even post the full race. So if you wait a few days after our event, after our races, you could always watch our races on MotoAmerica on their YouTube channel or on their Facebook. So that's also a great way to watch.
Yeah, I advocate that everyone support MotoAmerica, support you also by actually. So it's to be very candid, it's $12.95. It's the price of going to like McDonald's, and then you could get access to the particular weekend race. But in this case, we're gonna go to Junior Cup, and then we're gonna go to standings. And actually, no, let's go to race 2. And underneath here, let's see if it shows it. Yeah, you guys can see it. Underneath here, we'll go to results. And if anyone's wondering where I'm getting all this information, this is where literally I'm showing you where to retrieve it. But let me pull that up. One sec. So every time I click on something, it pops up a new page, and unfortunately, I have to switch. So here it is. So this is what popped up, and now so Aden officially you're now put number 2 in terms of the finishing. Is your dad there?
Yes.
Let's talk to your dad because since he's the logistics guy. So Aden, how are you? Well, congratulations to Cali Shine and congratulations to Aden on such an awesome race. So Aden finished 3rd, but we clearly can see he's now in 2nd. Can you come on talk about what happened?
Okay. Thank you, Long. Gonna take a little bit of your time here, but我从到都俾咗朋友俾咗 fans, especially Aden your fans, everybody throughout the world. Nhớ thái tê plot tê nhớ là tê theo tê Jamaica. Very fortunate that pay more technology le je de pay the day 1,000 miles away la pay on technology no keep todo pay shada la mo ke li ko channel de no je chung tao ko de chung tao views that your fans shada agency 就是主要的机制就是嘛，有到那时间的要内度 brother， 内度 sister， 内度多，我单拖是到我都没用，只要我一两都没用，所以要被说的都没用了 ，OK，so 呢 represent 被蒙是到的，被还能蒙铁路在上面讲那些。你要被说的都没有嘛？这我这些还得你说的有 support 呢，你有我路呢参加呢一样的个呢是有到呢的天这种些还得 ตัวได้ตัวผู้เป็นนอว่าVirginia เป็นนอตัวนึกเขาว่า second round race เป็นนอเจว่าไปพอตัวก็ทานว่า through ว่า satellite ว่าฟองจงเลยนอซื้อหรอยังมัวแต่ขอเทคโนโลยีจงแต่เขาchỉ用这些ปอมมั่ง这些มั่งหรอเสร็จแล้ว我现在这เสร็จแล้วเขาtune in to เราไม่ชัวร์ลีนอเทียหรอการแต่ว่าตัวตันทอback to ก็ข้อ questions แต่ก็กูวันagency จะพอ legality เราชิสั่งเนาะมาหนูจะย่อยคอยเดี๋ยวเราชิสั่งเรียกว่าแต่ local race เราย่อยจะแต่คนเดียวคนน้อยย่อยคอ professional racing which หนูย่อยคอ that they have to go by the rule throughout the world แล้วwho their FIM regulations so your federations international motorcycle racing series everybody have to go through the rules and regulations that a lot of people don't do like nation 尤其包括考的 why Aden 和到ที่ไป我讲和班ตัวที่ออกจะถูกได้ก็รอรู้หรือก็นู่นแต่ขอ legality ที่หรือขอregulations เดิมมา is because ยอดตัวตรง the Aden ขอว่า bracket race which Aden race your junior cup okay พอ junior cup เดิมมาจะได้ว่ากูบอกเขาเนาะอีกอย่างถามไม่ใช่จอดรอเขา junior cup แต่วันเดียวกูมาถามจอดรอเขา regulations ก็จะได้ที่ understand แล้วจดใจยอดตัว MotoAmerica นอมาเขา junior cup เดิมมาแล้วปู whoever that is at the age of 14ก็เปล่าชงมุจอดรอนั่งก็ยี่ชง14 to 28 years oldก็ยอดyou could enter into the junior cup okay so that from 14 to 28 years old you could be in the junior cup so it's not that ก็ว่ายอลีว่าลี Aden แต่no he's 18 years old it's not that he can't do superbike Aden could do superbike he could do the 1000 he could do the 600 he's qualified since ก็อยู่ที่ professional racers like you could do the superbike even though you're 18 years old and 19 20 years old เราก็ยังว่าต่อ superbike 600 class 1000 class จะใช่ไหมsince Aden want to champion total the 400 no so นึกถึงยอดตัว junior cup นี่เนาะ okay so total the junior cup the not in MotoAmerica so junior cup MotoAmerica regulations the norma จอยอดตัวjunior cup เนาะจะลูกมอเตอร์แล้วจีปูก็ก่อลูก engines it's untouchable you cannot take out the engine parts you cannot put no pistons and no aftermarket whatsoever and
so everywhere else on the bike okay the engine you cannot touch
yes correct you could try to tune your bike you could try to do whatever it is for exampleก็อีลูลูไฟ a lot of people will understand ยกมือ refer to the ลูไฟ for instance it's like coi lu five that it's like 4 cylinder or 6 cylinder or 8 cylinder. Called Junior Cup nó chơi là dòng gọi lu 4 cylinder cars. So they will let you change the spark plugs and change the oil and tries to refresh anything, brake pads, anything about the bike, but you cannot touch the engine. If you open up the engine and you try to motor engine that draw a bigger pistons or aftermarket valve to make into a high compression bike, then you will be disqualified. So you cannot open up the engine at all.
So we can say that do the tan cho cầu gì lúc này ngồi lại ngày sảnh nó Aden nó nó ya bé mốt là sợ đời lúc lúc giá thon they will all look the same.
Yes, it have to be. Yes, that's why the more car or protest. They call protest. So it's like your you suspect that there got the riders which we will talk a little bit more about Max Vandenbroek. Why New York itu TE just Numa disqualified is because they must touch the engine. Okay, so ilu mà tàu trong lên đó you local regulations for local Junior Cup nó every bike has to be the same spec chị thầu có sẵn ta lo chị lấy những mua có lu mà tàu đó cho là một qua rồi rong ta rồi chị lấy chỉ bu có ilu và bike nữa just like a car nên cho trả lu phải stick shift or nên lu phải nên trả nữa when you full throttle, you full pedal on your car, kalulu find the RPM the here to red line like 12,000 RPM. So
Lo, let's bring this back a little bit so that people understand. There's two places, at least the two places all hotel in nền chấm bay đại đến mà disqualify cái lịch trời lịch có hay có biết hay của môn thua còn những tranh number E yêu lần chia họ nữ thảo nữ Friday này nữ Friday vậy con gì luôn nè giòn bay nữa chị còn luôn nè pattern nên vậy có cho cùng một đó lúc có we called it the bike jail.
Yep.
So Aden listen, tai cái lấy chụp bút trong bike một cho tàu lấy họ theo lúc pitเลย must go to this place where every single bike is checked. So that's where ก็จะเลยก็เปรียบภาษาถ่ายก็จะจะเลยก็ถ่ายของน้องที่เขาบอกว่า max มัน disqualify แล้วเขาเนี่ยแล้วก็เนี่ยรู้จักแล้วก็แต่โอ้ก็รู้จักน้องชีรู้จักทำมันแล้วก็จะมองรู้จักน้องแล้วก็มองหนึ่ง modify แต่是 MotoAmerica จะต้องทัวร์ที่แล้วจะต้องมองทัวร์ที่เขาเต้นเหมือนกันนะชีพยา
Yeah, correct.
做保的你我操的时候เขาบอกแต่ก็เปลี่ยนได้ The second one is that ก็แต่เราอีตัว rider 你莫在 protest อีตัวที่ว่า彼此嘅这里个老师嘅Aden 你嘛你成嘛你成你比较的是你冇你成你冇 talk 到number 8呢即莫一度去hand背的是莫一度 rider 你去做写落 Aden 你那啲 OK 佢有四個來 specifically 莫個輪擺嚟談台過路假設不要個去了嘅一度呢我哋試呢就 you guys call that but I call it as a protest right
Yep
即係就個 protest 嘅你要試了嘢咯對 Aden 輪擺嘅時候佢咧就你不打了係輪對 Aden 輪擺打輪貼啦住輪貼到啦住
Yep có rules trong lên tới chị Imni họ thả mình chỉ tao chỉ mình chỉ cho còn là con mù chỉ là có tay có lò lùi coi vậy là có rules and regulations nó vậy nhớ đâu có professional world racings li nó vậy giờ có chỉ tao xe thì cú lu phải chẳng cho con lu là cú mà tao chẳng cho con lu là which there is a rule and regulations right there that we have to meet but then only got to go law legal show the video the to you could tell very well because to look here called cornering. Libertago show that map the like your cornering the man that's based on skills and how the riders learn how skill is. The bot team they could put the right gearing on the bike so the bike could be able to perform and they shocks a loop bike that could turn left and right because you're actually move your loop brand new bike out of loop dealership the lòi có chỉ cho một chai nữa chỉ có lệ left and right liberta a để hai nữa vậy definitely you cannot the bike will not perform the bike will just throw you off the bike will just crash because got you caught your suspensions that all of those has to be modified so that's legal for you to modify but the junior cup no you can never touch the engine you can't open up the engines to modify pistons and valve and anything in there okay so it has to be totally stock from the factory where they built the bike from so you could protest another rider if you think that their bike is being cheated so like call professional race lino giờ là mua nhia giờ là protest có so là protest giờ for instance thì là giờ cũng có protest có giờ cũng tao thấy block bộ đoạn on block phá đoạn $4,000 giờ cũng tao show thì okay I'm protesting to riders lino because cũng chính chẳng thì là lu mà tao it's legal and then thế nó chỉ có thể họ nhiên đỡ thế sai chân đó đỡ ta chỉ the inspectors will just like okay that's not a protest có nữa ấy để nó là chính chẳng thì oli cha có họ kia tao dùng thằng bộ ấy có họ take podium so là protest thì như protest có lỡ chỉ là chỉ bút có lúc mà tàu đi đó thì thế nó chỉ they have to tear your bike all apart and then show a engine hay thì oh is this stocks is this modified chỉ giờ tụi tôi là find tao ít kho hay thì có mua có lúc or engine the modify rồi thì you automatically disqualify from chỉ có tàu podium chỉ có young bảo lý trả points là they disqualify everything so you're back to zero so một bia cho hay thì tụ phong như Max Vandenbroek nữa yes nữ dân tàu thì ý là mà chỉ bây giờ acknowledge theo dòng xe đó rồi không được cơ chỉ mà là họ mua lựa tụ nâng họ protest nữ theo MotoAmerica họ sure chỉ nữ lúc bay chỉ nhỏ có regulations đó là cũng chỉ bao thì là có nữ lúc bay lý trả thì là họ lý trả đồ lúc bay thì không được cũng chỉ bao chỉ mà that's confidential for MotoAmerica thì nữ ba team là đó là chỉ mà thổ là bao trong lên đó vậy of course MotoAmerica là have to want to disqualify from even the LTE law they have to disqualify him and give him 0 points for one race the time talk so Aden Thao tipe so thế nó chỉ họ mua lựa tụ nâng lỡ họ xả bao thì Aden why what is Aden họ yok chết chẳng thằng bộ lên đó lại chân đó number one is Aden tiếp bé mà bây giờ ít cho minority bây giờ ít cho minority vậy bây giờ hãy năng mong vậy Aden giờ thất thơ tụi mình nhỏ em muốn sĩ từ cho và lừa hãy năng nhớ cho luôn để tay nó vậy Aden bé hoặc mong hãy bé sửa đủ mù thế nè it's just like bé sửa đủ mù chứ chỉ mua được kia bé thì bé hoặc nó so first step khi lúc họ trong nó về explore out of the blue mùa xưa so lỡ chỉ và chẳng to thì Aden và nếu họ trả mà to 3 years because Aden từ mua cầu trí xong là cái Aden mà to Aden lúc first bike that he actually get on the bike to show trả lên đó and then it's only been 3 years now nè cái tàu all xong nó sẽ cái Aden become professional so lỡ chính trang tàu hay thì ít mình nhỏ ở trả ít lúc mà tàu tàu bay lúc xong nó ở yếu chẳng bảo lên đó yếu advance bảo lên đó so all of this
เขาก็ให้เขาก็ให้เองอย่างนู้นอยู่มาเขาคอยก็เฉลยตัวต้อมจะมีการเราอินดาเลยนะแล้วที่ใจ这里อึถาแล้วอินดาที่ใจ这里ถาแล้วมั่วไปเปล่าชี้ช่องตัวเลยอ่ะพอเองจะอยู่เขาก็ชี้ซะจะอยู่จะรุ่นเจี๊ยบที่เองอยู่เขาใจไปอยู่ช่องซะพอแล้วตัวที่เก่าแต่ก็ชี้นั่นก็ช่องจะเอง这里拉ที่ตรงนี้这里ก็係你拉一隻大隻一集中時嘛呀。
Yes.
即係我係其實討論咗就你摸 A 連碌架，你吞頭就你說就你bỏ的 A 連碌架 normal。
Yeah. So lỡ chỉ suspect tao thì lỡ cho mình nhỏ a law motor down professional MotoAmerica lino cái và lỡ cho mình nhỏ đó thầu mua option option是lỡ tới trả lúc pocket bike lỡ tới trả lỡ cho electric bike liu lino là and then lỡ có bao xong lỡ mà enter tao là một sĩ sang cái lỡ có chỉ xong lên đó cái lỡ become professional but Aden tới có chỉ xong Aden mà nó có bị cầu trả lúc mà tao chứ so lỡ bao Aden có background xong lên đó cái lỡ suspect hay là thế rồi Aden lúc mà tao đó yes và mua lười giả nhớ cho đó họ such as ý là và lấy cho lúa cho trả lúa phải chỉ là bao cái có lúc mà tao đó thế có mua nitrous nhớ cho họ rồi có mua supercharged nhớ họ có mua turbo nhớ cho họ rồi vậy the only way for them to find out is little chỉ trong xe thì là have to protest so là thấy nhia li plau phá đuôn đó to go against có cái là have to mua cái lô bike đó và inspect cái là mỗi Aden lô bike the inspect torn down it's từ hai nhà chỉ mua lười nhà trong bảo li upgrade bảo li lợi và lựa cho riders tạm thôi nè because Aden look bike is totally stock and it's in the regulations and because they should they do và ý hành động mong cái they làm một trong nó sẽ chỉ mà cái nhiệt chia cái chọn nhẹ là bây giờ chỉ chọn nhẹ cho đan nhiệt chia đó cái bây giờ chỉ mua có nhiệt chia有lo cho là mua bây lúc bánh đó súp tập liu li nó đó cái lấy cho
cho ai sai sure nè the numbers I have right here low họ hoài là chánh thế à cái sai mỗi Aden họ nói you see right here this is number 8 Cody Wyman he's a professional Yamaha race instructor
yes
but Aiden's number look at Aiden's his best time is 136.86 Aiden's time is 136.88 that's like less than a hair slower than him and if you look at the total time he only beat Aden by less than I don't even know it's a fraction of a second and so all these things really matter and I think it's just more for Aden that I think if I was there low and someone took this guy's bike apart because he was such a good rider, and they took apart his bike. And whoa, it's a stock bike. I would respect the guy even more because they
Yes.
just tested a guy who's super fast on a very standard bare bone stock bike. I think itu na ni mo ni to sa thế ni mo你这啥的你 J 呢？你跑的哦，俾我有幾耐咯？咁咯，俾啥的你đầu đó，你酷你紅你碌假的字。Man, hands down. Yeah, if I was another in his group, I would say, I apologize because yeah, you're fast, but it's because you're fast and nothing else. And I think that, Aiden, it's interesting. Congratulations, Aiden took second place, and there were some unfortunate events, some falls, they more junior because some of the stuff that happened is wow. Aiden like that Aiden Thao. Aiden doesn't mention it, but when I watched it, I was terrified for Aiden because they felt right in front of Aiden. Aiden
Right.
could have been. Aiden is a hair of a. People don't realize how close he is to those people. Aiden was right behind Kayla when she hit Cody. It could have been him. Aiden go the wrong way. Oh, that's Aiden now.
Yeah.
But God willing, Aiden he rides a very clean ride. He doesn't
Yeah.
mess around. He rides clean, and Aiden's humble. And man, I don't have anything bad to say about Aiden. I wish you guys the best.
Yes. To Cody Wyman, lý có hai nữa. Yes, Cody Wyman, nữ do ít instructors, and he's very good. Nữ như càng chạm mà tổ hàng nữ như ít professional racers. Nữ càng hàng Cody Wyman, nữ tư do năng cầu gì xong rồi nè. He's
This is
28
last
years
year in
old.
junior
Yes.
then.
Yeah. So near to Lao Chap Lao nhóc rồi là cho junior cup hole, and he's very humble too. As
Yeah.
because you are on the yes, Kayla want to wipe out, and that's not his problem. Kayla he want to wipe out, but Kayla don't shot he still go and help her out and put her in the ambulance, and he's very humble. And the Cody Wyman, the two brothers, Travis Wyman, theo Kyle Wyman là bé cứ tin de là sẽ đợi nhớ trong MotoAmerica tạm thôi. Họ tụ bọn nè và thư interview và đỡ luôn bé và Hannah Lopa. Tụ bọn nè và đỡ để thư interview sẽ đợi around the paddock, thế nữa interview Aiden là lên đỡ chế tuần tới do Cody Wyman tuần nè tí đó. Okay. Yes, chế tuần tới Cody Wyman, to brother Kyle Wyman. She's married to Kyle Wyman. Cody to oldest brother Kyle Wyman the Tuponia. Okay, so and besides New York, it to Miss New York. Okay, yes, that's why the thing you want to love muton the ho. Yes, New York can handle the New York to Ponia John Go Hang Tia. She's married to the Wyman's family. They lucky you are MotoAmerica. You want to long way to interviewers in the MotoAmerica because New York to Miss New York. Okay, they represent United States. Miss USA not yet. Just New New York and compete as to Miss New York. They have very powerful relation with MotoAmerica.
Yeah, but they're very humble. It looks like they're very good-willed, humble people. So I give them a lot of praise. To answer casual, yeah, they did tell that the other racer that protested Aiden. They absolutely did. Everybody knew.
Yeah. They look hard protest. It's good. They should that's the rules in everything, but we don't take that as what I go junior pay, it could discriminate pay, and then go your choose, pay your non due to protest pay. No, because they follow how regulations. lỡ suspect linh đỡ về có dòng xe lo kia lỡ protest linh đỡ, but then when they found out that wow lúc mà tổng nó tới chỉ hai bộ li bay lu chỉ mà ôi giờ tụ riders nó nữa họ có căng thẳng bộ, so that's a very good sportsman complimations it call có số một xã thể có một xã thì it call a là what in the tại chỉ là bao chứ rồi it call compliment nè, it call compliment thì wow this is outrageous bây giờ mà tổng bây từ một biểu hai cha thì nó bây what thì nó hai cha and then ôi giờ Aden lu nó tức là hai bộ thì bây lu sư chỉ mà Aden chơi Gang Chape Aden chơi Gang Chape, so we take that as a compliment, and we would have wished like every round that they would protest us because all in the it's a very good compliment, but that's your local regulations, so that's good. But on the other hand, có hai đồ có long có giờ tụi Hmongoose có họ channel nó thì có giờ ít tụ một tí đồ Aden đỡ thì bây giờ cái tí mong sợ đỡ thì có một cái fan cho trong sure có họ channel nó và cố hai thì đồ có thì đồ bây giờ mong sợ đỡ nhỏ thông để tới nó sure có họ channel nó of course bé nhỏ rồi luôn để tới từ họ từ là dân mua non prejudice, okay, so họ nói mà giờ cũng thà và chờ đi cũng bỏ một đồ they done professional racing only nói về lấy chỉ tao bỏ ít tuần hàng bao nhiêu em mua xí sang xí từ đồ luôn để tới nó có giờ ý hải năng mong là giờ có ít tụ bao nhiêu là mua bao bùa tụ riders tô một sĩ tương đỡ chỉ mà mua Mecca, mua Mexican, mua European, mua South Africa, mua Canadian, all of those you can name it, but lỡ chỉ bao tiền mong như thứ chỉ mà lần chia Aden giờ ít tụ nhiều mong sự so còn đỡ giờ ít họ sometimes là accept tàu, sometimes là accept chỉ tàu thì thôi có giờ ít tụi mình mong chỉ mua bè bè có thứ mua là bi có thứ young có thứ take podium đi Aden đỡ nó chỉ là suspect có mua tụ lưu có là 90% là dân lưu có thế là nhiều có thế là feel amazed, but 10% lần chú có nữa, okay, lần chú có là prejudice against God because lỡ chỉ tao bỏ ít tu năng bao đủ trong cái li Aden, ấy giống muốn đó là chỉ từ họ luôn để tay họ nói vậy,
hay luôn chết thì thành ra lỡ chỉ tao bỏ Aden đua chỉ tao bỏ Aden chạy đua thì, tôi chỉ nhớ thì bỏ tu là chỉ họ thì bây giờ mất xả thì luôn chết thì thêm bây giờ xả thì là chỉ hơn chú theo, hay有冇路好跑个冇路拖啦，能拆Aden啊，人家。คนชายมาที่ว่าเราอีตัวหนึ่งชายมันนึกจะปิ้นจูอ๋ออย่าแต่หนึ่งจูดคนหนึ่งจูมาอย่างอีอาจจะเป็นหนึ่งจูดคนหนึ่งชายมันหนึ่งชายแหงอ๋อ so กูยังขวAden ที่Cali Shine พอ you know we will create another post that's very vivid but ก็มันทั่วก็ไม่ก็จงมองจะเป้าเดีย you know อยู่มุมดอในการเนาะแล้วชิตื่นใจมอเตอร์ไซค์เนาะNuki, I just got a question here regarding this question. If you could answer this really fast, Lo, what is the prize for winning, and how much does it cost to race in the Junior Cup?
Well, it called Junior Cups. Lino, your got what the full series. They more 10 rounds. Okay, 10 rounds. Each on MotoAmerica, more 10 rounds. So 10 rounds the got more estimate your cost and ton the $150,000. Okay, so $150,000 the New Year mostly cover the Junior Cup the Aden le khó và class trong nên đó but có thứ chỉ tàu số cho hay thì do thầu nữ crash nếu lên nói có dù tàu dù extra part có dù tàu you know đã có dù ilu engine chia cho lúc mà tàu đó lo giờ thì nữ crash lúc mà tàu tàu ta rồi chỉ có tàu dù đuôi lúc mà tàu chia cho nữ lo to replace đợi chỉ you go beyond at least $200,000 a year. Yes.
Yeah.
So
not a joke when you guys are racing. There's a lot involved. Wow, Aden must have a lot of. There must be a huge team in the background supporting him. No, you know, Aden, he doesn't have like 20 people in the back. But you know, that's why I think the number one bên mong bây giờ chủ chơi Aden vào mùa tòa said at the fundraiser in Fresno, you know, Aden thảo lo chú yếu là thì you chủ bảo thì you cho mong đó you ba tiết chơi tiếng trà you tiếng gà you là and I think lo we need to number one educate our Hmong community about racing, what it involves. 这好，这最还好点。you know，有细很到某家，不有新年到某正的。You know, there's a lot of ways when you pay your Aden because you know, one of the biggest things we can do is educate. In the case of Sunisa, we didn't attach ourselves to her until this and I don't think that should be the case with Aden because he's already big, but he's still not gigantic yet. But I think you know, that's because being and then this is an opportunity low that Aiden's here. We have an opportunity to redeem ourselves and to tell you to the high. Not he already reached the highest level in the United States. Now he's gonna go to Asia and eventually, hopefully, we help him and move all the way to MotoGP, the highest level in the world. And I think they we want to turn the table on this well, we want to change that. Then I think on a very small scale, well, let's begin with Aden. You know, doesn't mean that you know, she who, you know, Aden, I've only known him for a couple months. I love him like my kid brother. And you know, on the end of Hmongoose, you know, I would love to just, you know, every single race, you know, draw the Aden got. Let's talk about the track. Let's talk about the race, win or lose, Lo. Let's talk about it. Okay, we're gonna talk about this, and we're gonna unfurl it a bit. What happened? Because you know, like Sonisha Lee flies in the air, she lands, and people clap, but people don't really know actually how she gets a perfect score. And I think how difficult it is to get a perfect score, like how it is, a third place win is gigantic. It's huge. People who don't know just say, "Oh, well, he didn't get first." Yeah, but he got third. If you understand what it involves to get third, come on, side. And did the max. Not earlier than day, his bike fell. It broke. No, Aiden cannot do that.
Right.
Let's the more financial ability to support, but you know, Lo, I want to grow these channels and use it as a platform. What's up with Aden? It's not just Aden won this race, Aden won that race. No, it's let's talk about Aden. Everyone knows exactly what's going on with Aden. You know, let's bring all our people to all the supporters to, you know, they can come here as a place to discuss Aden, and we have some very interesting things to happen that are going to come up. Aiden's going to race in Wisconsin next week. And
actually, Aden Thao racing who know usually bây giờ nhà nhau hồng đã có lo một chế là chỉ mà ta chỉ nói cái và bây nhau hồng là kỳ kỳ chế the following weekend sư chạy tới cho về Wisconsin là so that's why bé tới nhóm the Virginia nó là vậy we might just well stay here for the night and then yêu nó chạy bé mà trả lúc phải một cái cho về Wisconsin chạy Aden bắt team thế Aden lu truck là thô Aden lu mà tàu một cho bé là chạy bé mà đã khá phải prepare bé đua chạy Aden mà sang tất cả đồ call round 3 nhớ đồ Wisconsin Bay so yes everything dân nhua cơ hai cho đồ the cái nung cái lúa li nó yes of course bây dân bao cho đồ cho athletic nó li cụ thủ khang và agency nó cũng dân really appreciate cái mua ít tuần sai trong lịch sử sa ít tu gymnastic linh the mỗi tu linh mega cane thêm và mua up to uprising stars total the professional soccer players là mà cú trong xe cơ but cú hai total này thì being a soccer players thế li sunisa thế là cho golf players đỡ chơi they are super great là những cân cầu theo là những mua courage cân cầu là thế là một số đồ đam professional trong liên đó but for Lee Aden chơi nữ nhỏ đồ đam professional liên đó but then nữ khó career đó chỉ do thì nữ ít lần your use nữ body the cho lòng bộ gymnastically sunisa là chọn tới sự keep healthy and all those stuff Aden he nữ hot sport nó mà nữ have to keep herself healthy thế nữ hot to have to deal with the machine thế even though you can a parting chỉ can put the bike together he will fail as well so nếu lúc bike tới giờ lúc kỹ sắp là thế nếu cho mechanic tới giờ có thể là sư chạy ít tu mechanic nó nữa tua Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday cho nên mà đã ra nhau một chế chỉ còn thì ít tu mechanic trong liên tới chạy ilu weekend chín hôm nó sư you're talking about $4,000 ít tu mechanic chạy là cho professional racing liên nó chạy có thứ thầy là pay to mechanic you're talking about $12,000 for pay to mechanic for the whole weekend but chỉ do the ilu weekend nói cóอยู่to share no you have to stick that's what they call the team because lấy cho Aden cho mechanic nó mà they know how many pounds Aden weigh so lấy thì bao nhiêu lúc mà tổng the cho suspension the car got handle tao Aden car weight of 130 pounds Aden have to be around that area and literally adjust có lúc mà tao the thứ cho nữ so nữ cho mechanic they knows him ins and out so that's how they can modify the bike to fit him well so một đồ đam professional nó chơi giờ có chỉ muốn như chia leader to afford tao cho mechanic trong leader chơi it's very hard and for Aden nhớ đồ xong nó since he's very gifted and họ mua cho sponsors và cho trong đó là một bát cho nữ đỡ chơi và còn tới họ offset tới họ cost to the you want to there you know instead of like ít bộ chỉ cho pa a year so maybe that you want to see that you talk about the chỉ cho pa sửa chạy the ít bộ pa the chạy người cho sponsors là take care of họ và budget đó là nè so Aden represent low rồi nè so không thể chỉ nửa ba tàu rong chỉ mà lúc ta có thà là nhớ cho next year this might be the last year that Aden will be joining MotoAmerica hậu tới cho mấy cả hậu nó but giờ thuộc bé không là Aiden will still jump on MotoAmerica from round to round, but since Lucian that they know which we will talk more in depth with Aiden for next year career the Aiden tao có contract nhớ cho Sa và Asia thì cho họ Aiden giờ ít mình Asian thế chứ và lỡ contract Aiden mu represent nhớ cho Sa thì và Asia thì nhớ cho Lucian, which like I said we will talk more into detail. So next year the Aiden you are mainly represent nhớ cho Sa thì Asia thì dollar, and he will be racing in Australia, Malaysia, total Japan, total Thailand, Asia, tạm thôi cho world nhớ sát thì Asia thì về Aiden's gonna compete over there.
Yeah, in the beginning, talk của nhiều khó soup. Be có live session của hai đứa share there. You know, nếu tí có thế Aiden甚至 you guys take the time to come talk to us on live media. Bên một sai tụi bao sai thì nếu bỏ hai thì okay. Basically, Lo just said that you bet you she shot her that she had the show with your Aiden at MotoAmerica. Maybe in the future, new race international. You paying you Aiden maybe lima y'all. Okay, I encourage Joy. The ones in Wisconsin, go watch them. The ones in Minnesota, go watch them. The one in Monterey, come watch him, because maybe next year, to guarantee, he's going to be racing in Europe, in Asia. Maybe he might come at MotoAmerica here and there, but it's not going to be the same. The whole MotoAmerica, so Lo, I'm not going to keep you guys. I know you guys are tired. You're 3 hours ahead of us. I've got to run and go do some crazy stuff too. But I thank you so much, Lo. I look forward to seeing you after Wisconsin, and we'll chat a little bit more. And there's so many issues that we can still talk about. The Hmong phía hoặc là có sự tao there. You có nhiều cái biến hóa mình chỉ mới in hoa mẹ mẹ được. Như chia phía họ chỉ lưu cho thế còn there's still a lot to talk about. I would love to still talk about it, but let's save it for another live session. Lo, Aiden, thank you so much. I know Aiden's just on the other side of the computer, but Aiden, thank you so much for all you do. And Lo, thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for joining me on this live session. Congratulations, your second place, and I think you're going to be probably second place in the overall standing now too. But we'll see. But you'll be, if not second, you'll be very close to second.
Yes, I'm pretty sure within the whole 9 rounds, at the end, I'm pretty sure as what Aiden's dad, Aiden, your chief mechanic that observe, if Aiden would have continue like this on, even Max Vandenberg, the fastest runner. Đó chỉ là thứ mà disqualify trong đó là gì, that's not the Aiden your point, go up là gì. As the time goes by with all this round, Aiden, we suspect that Aiden will be the top. Aiden will take the championship finalist at the end of MotoAmerica season, because Aiden your point bao cha lại là. So họ tới giờ call it, but you know, that's what we predict, and we really believe that Aiden is going to be the championship. Shown on the MotoAmerica in the dead, or you call yes, your your fans throughout the world, or your Wisconsin, Minnesota, Linda, and then in the following weeks, Bay Law Mutoto Bay, Wisconsin, the Bay Mutoto, Washington, Matagalo, California, Mutoto, Minnesota, yes, Wisconsin to Minnesota, I would love to invite everybody to come out there and support Aiden Sang in the it's not a problem, because it's too expensive. You know, 伊来睇嘅多么多种都是一度能的是都要那个这一波到多了 you know so it's just like going to a football game you know so bây giờ mong nó li cũ là cũ yên hiểu ít tu nhiều sai basketball theo football hẳn but do cũ sai học TV vậy yes bây giờ đời nhỏ chân ba hậu và chạy mà you know và sai football thì cứ và mua phản sự chỉ mà do có ta thôi bé có tờ năng có lăng the mu sure can live here Dalu Stadium vậy it costs too much because you know ít đại bây giờ ít bộ chỉ cho đoàn cho đó bộ đoàn vậy of course còn là kỳ thông là so could you understand it that's too expensive so chỉ bỏ ra và tàu lý trả chỉ mà you know bây giờ lúa lúa tu vậy bây tàu dùng lúa tu lý trả lò hải thế vậy bây giờ tàu dùng là và đi làm mù chỉ mà anyway giờ mua chỉ là và Aden ba team thế bây giờ là cứ propose thế video là bây share tàu là bây giờ mua share cho sẽ được bỏ ý là đi MotoAmerica live thế tên tới là nhớ tôi sai Asia li Aden mua sẵn nhớ tôi tới cho Thái tên tới mà tới cho Thái mà là có budget nhé lo hẳn so they be afford to live all who down tôi luôn để tay nó sure live when they actually race but nhớ tới cho mấy cái nó chỉ yes là những mua nhé hẳn but còn tới do ít khó cái và前日子係做嚟都冇啦 America 聽 so 嚟啲你 watch 到 live 做上嚟笑嘅我哋講都看嗰啲你 have to subscribe 嗰啲你播話 live 領導就是嘛it's okay 就我哋家 but 有冇你家咯 being always post 做到有 fans 俾咗嗰啲mong sẽ đời tàu bỏ học bảo trợ thế chỉ mà nên tôi chỉ tàu là that's not a problem chỉ mà nhớ đồ nên lúc xưa luôn chứ của xã hay thì tụi nó của lão nó chỉ là lấy bắt đầu của hai your native brother native sister native son tí giả là chỉ they treat you as your native brothers native minyo ý giả de bây giờ là thân cả đồ nữa sư không đỡ gì của anh chị cũng có thể có cho đồ này sẽ là tạm thời bây giờ mong community thế cho họ lúc lúc Aden thế họ sẽ thân cả Aden là của anh chị Aden sẽ bảo cho đồ này là của anh chị chỉ của sở chế của hai cho đồ này chua lăng chua tù người cho fan nhớ thông bờ hồn thế tế của nó hay thì cũng có thể có cho đồ này cho quân nuôi mò họ xuất thân cả Aden thế thì không thể giới họ quân gì là cũng trong sẽ thân cao thế especially cho có long thế có channel Hmongoose có okay so 我从头到呢我从头到mà họ xin chỉ đùa the following week to be moved to Wisconsin Bay. Okay.
Okay, Oli. Yeah. Okay, Lo. Thank you to you and Aden. Hey, watch out! Thank you for coming live, and I'll see you guys on another live session.
Yes, thank you. Bye.
So there you guys have it. Lo is here and Aden is here, and support them. Support MotoAmerica. Buy the stream. Watch it live. They're great. They love the sport, and let's help it grow. Let's help the Hmong community. Thank you for watching this live stream so much, and we will see you at the next Hmongoose.